All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Space Dandy, Season 2, Episode 2.
Okay.
Right, yep, we've got ourselves a good halfway through the show now.
Yep.
We've got quite a bit of ridiculousness to look forward to, I'm sure. But we might be getting some semblance of a little bit of continuity with regards to multiverse stuff that they set up in the very first episode of the show.
Yeah, who knows? I would not be averse to that, but I would be surprised. I would be surprised. They did definitely go into it last episode, but that would be breaking new territory, new ground.
But what about would you be two-verse to that? I understand being averse, but two-verse.
Wow.
Maybe that requires a little bit.
I
more.
don't think I've ever heard that pun or anything like it be used before. Good job. That was awful.
I'm a bit multiversed about it because when I think about it from one angle, then I see another angle, and then I'm like, but then there's another angle, and then the other angle comes off of that, and it just gets a little bit crazy.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Dandy even.
Without further ado, let's cringe on, y'all. Space Dandy. He's a dandy guy in space. He combs the galaxy like his pompadour on the hunt for aliens. Planet after planet he searches, discovering bizarre new creatures, both friendly and not. These are the spectacular adventures of Space Dandy and his brave space crew in space. Oi! Oi! Aloha? At least we can always count on this to be dandy.
That's right. I would have been so sad if they changed the opening.
Wakara nai hodo no hobi de.
Ooh, I like it.
A little banjo?
Or a ukulele?
Oh, ukulele, yeah.
I'm not sure. I can't tell. I'm not very musically versed.
Oh, an alien playing music in a forest swamp.
Nothing ever works. I'm stuck like this. I just want to be able to laugh like I don't have a care in the universe.
Why does it sound kind of like meow? Like, is that just me?
Like this.
That's the dandy way, baby. There's no music in the darkness, baby.
All right.
You are so wrong. It's them.
You're so wrong, it's not.
Okay, no, definitely not meow.
Actually, this song I just
Shut up.
played...
What are you doing?
I'm telling you, you're always
Wow.
misunderstanding stuff. Sketchiest explanation ever.
Sketchy, is it? How am I sketchy? What part of me is sketchy?
Showing a lot more butts this episode than boobs so far.
Get your way.
What do you know? There really is one. The Mr. Misunderstanding Grand Prix.
We've got to sign this dude up.
The prize
Wait.
for the winner is a whole lot of food. That sounds pretty sketchy, too.
Yeah, it does.
See how it is. That's how you guys want to play it, huh?
Because only an idiot would misunderstand that as being an actual,
I have a
contest.
shocking announcement to make.
Yeah, basically.
As of today, this moment, Team BBP is officially disbanded.
Oh!
They don't even hear.
Yeah!
Don't you want to stay and eat pancakes?
Pancakes are too sweet for the bitter pain consuming my heart.
Oh!
What do you think he meant
Spoken
by
like a true poet,
Maybe
Dandy.
you wanted waffles instead? One giant Hawaiian pancake tower at your service.
I guess I'm just Dandy the space bum, nothing more. That's what a
you're
guy
absolutely
gets for
right.
Trying to live with the flow. I'm throwing a party at my house, and I was hoping you might come as the guest of honor.
See you soon.
He'll gladly
a rare
come.
alien.
She signed it from a rare alien. Sounds like this babe's itching for me to snatch her up.
Bro. No.
Wow.
But hey, we get a solo, dandy, mini.
This is true.
Mini episode.
Yeah, when was
You
the
know?
last time we had one of those?
Oh, no. The Gogol Empire. More like the Gaggle Empire.
So kind, but with a firm hand.
What?
I owe everything to you. You made me what I am today.
Yes.
Oh,
Beautiful.
dear Mama. How many times now has Dandy slipped through my fingers? Over and over again it happens. I get so close, and then he just disappears.
I don't think we've ever really gotten that close, actually.
Shut up! We have
No, and it, sir, it's not like we
Wow.
can turn back time.
time, eh? Yes, that's it.
No.
We'll make for the river of time at once.
Oh, that's not a machine. They are actually, like, going to tap into something.
Okay. And just like that, Dandy died.
The dinosaurs, too. You know?
Yeah. But thankfully, they go back in time.
Right.
A space luau.
Look at that! Dandy won the Mr. Misunderstanding Grand Prix!
Check out the fine print. It says the prize must be awarded in person or it's forfeit.
Oh, of
Dandy
course.
back here
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah.
he's dead.
Because he misunderstood the misunderstanding, they won't get scammed by the misunderstood, you know, scam.
It's all very straightforward.
It's all very, yeah, exactly.
How about you help me, please?
It's okay. I can understand you.
I'm looking for a mansion where a beautiful girl lives. Can you help
All
me
right.
out?
A mansion here.
Yeah, I would hate to let the hostess down. A party without Dandy's no party at all, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, forget I said it. I had my doubts about this planet when I hit water on the way down. It's looking pretty dry so far.
Wait,
You
hit
passed through
water?
Is it possible? I think perhaps you saw the River of Time.
Oh yeah, never heard of it.
Oh my
no
god.
way.
He just went through it.
You must have had a near-death experience in which you caught a glimpse of the river's temporal flow.
Oh my god,
The
yes.
phenomenon has been known to occur in the river.
Absolutely.
Roca.
You might think of it as a give and take between a planet and its satellite,
Alright,
which is
time
not
loop.
dissimilar to the give and take between a man and a woman. Two bodies acting upon one another.
What are you talking about?
Forget
Wow.
I said that last bit.
Wow. That.
See, everything in life is sex.
Exactly. Would you like the nature metaphor or the sex metaphor? The nature metaphor. When two animals are having sex.
Dandy should be somewhere in this area.
Looks like the whole planet's a jungle. Moving around down there won't be easy. So let's teleport directly where we need to go.
Wait, now they
Yeah,
have...
that'll give us a chance to try out the remote.
I mean, I think they did have those in previous ones, but. You might want to run. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
The horror! The horror!
Yep. Wait. So these are different aliens. Okay, I thought they tried to come back with disguises.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the right time. God, every time.
I know.
The Space Trotter Guidebook Frontier Edition says, you never can tell when you'll get to see the Pororoca phenomenon. If you catch it, count yourself super lucky. Like, for real.
We will succeed this time, I demand it! That no-good space bum will not escape from our clutches again! We will capture him!
Yeah!
Yeah! Yas, queen!
Okay,
Yas!
I gotta say though, I really want to see Dr. Jill's mom now, like in person. I want him to have an episode.
Hold on.
Antesians? When they were chasing us, I thought we were gonna be space dust for sure.
Yeah, and what about the Wiggians? They were
Here it
freaky,
is.
too.
What sorcery is this? All right,
Being is a god.
or a high-level bard.
I mean, isn't that what a god is, basically? Like, just a bard that kept leveling?
Well, anyway, where's the girl?
What girl?
The sexy rare alien who sent me that letter. She waits for me. I should go to her.
Unfortunately, there seems to have been a grave misunderstanding. I know that's just part of your charm, though.
There's no need to cry about it, man.
I'm not crying, I'm ecstatic. It was me.
What's you?
I wrote that letter. I'm the one who invited you here.
Not a beautiful girl?
No,
How about an ugly one?
no.
Not the kind of
We can still
boning
party,
that
but first
Dandy
let me
had
see
in
the
mind.
best smile in the universe. Hey,
Already gone. There we go. Yep.
Oh. Oh.
Party with just two guys? I did not come all the way out here for a sausage festival.
There's no meat on that dude.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well,
Okay. This is like some Medusa stuff.
yeah.
Pretty realistic. And each one is different.
Yep, there's Meow, yeah.
now?
QT.
You shouldn't have come out this way. Recent acquisitions. They didn't work out. You know how it is. Their smiles just weren't quite right.
Okay.
Sorry?
Not cool. You turn them into statues?
Oh.
But none worked. I looked and I looked, but I just couldn't find my perfect match.
I want to wear your skin, Dandy.
Yeah.
I saw you. I want your smiling mug for my collection.
And your
You'll
pompadour.
like me so much more with that grin plastered on my face.
How could I possibly smile after what you turned my friends into? I'll never be able to smile again, baby.
This episode is surprisingly serious.
Well,
Yeah.
that's problematic.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah. It just doesn't work on him.
That's the Aloha Oi!
That's not yours by any chance, is it?
Hey, what are you doing? It's not food! Get off!
Dr. Gel, Dandy's down there. The Aloha Oi is ascending through the planet's atmosphere.
That's him?
Sir, we have no weapon systems on this mini craft. We just have to watch him leave. No!
Yeah, basically.
Chase him into the flow of time! The river of time!
My question, though, is that are they going to have another adventure after emerging through the River of Time at some other temporal location? Wait.
Sending them at a different point.
I'm not sure that's a good idea, Dandy. I know you like surfing, but...
I mean, this is pretty cool, though.
Yes. And it does seem like the Dandy thing to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then, what's the point if we're not going to, like...
See, it wasn't about saving his friends at all. He just wanted to have a fun time surfing, you know? That's how he'll be able to smile again.
Oh, cool. Whoa. A battleship? What?
Okay. All right.
Mother.
That's my mom!
Who do you think you are, you hairy pervert? Get away from me!
Come on, where's that pinhead bot and bonehead cat?
Oh, crap.
Wait.
Hey, QT, Dandy's here!
Everything okay, Dandy? You look a little faint.
Is this gonna be how it gets reset? Is that the time gets undone from the present?
Don't mess with me, baby!
Whoa! Okay.
It can end like this. A smile probably wouldn't have suited me anyway.
Actually, baby, you're smiling right now.
I am. Really? Is it a good smile?
Good? No, that's a great smile you've got there.
I'm keeping this.
Requiem for a smile.
A ukulele to play on the Aloha Oi.
I recognize that melody. Yeah, that's totally it.
And so we never find out what it actually was.
Okay.
That was a very odd episode.
That was... Because, like, Space Dandy episodes rarely have an actual antagonist in any serious sense.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think they were bringing up maybe some stuff with regards to just kind of all these other beings throughout the galaxy being influenced by Dandy's dandy way. Mm-hmm. And then they're trying to basically force it. by pushing people into the flow, basically, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, this was probably one of the stranger episodes, not in that it was different from like a structure thing or what have you, but it felt like it didn't know exactly what it was wanting to be. Maybe we misunderstood the point of it.
Potentially. That might be it.
But I feel like you were saying earlier, this was one of the rare instances where it wasn't like a Dr. Gel antagonist.
Right. There was an actual antagonist.
There was a form of an antagonist, yeah.
And not that like we have an antagonist before, but they rarely feel serious, right? Usually when we have antagonists, it's very much in sort of a joking, whimsical way where there's someone that is, you know, an obstacle of some sort or whatever, and they need to get beaten or something, right? But it always is very loose, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, it's like, oh, no, Meow and QT are gone. And that's serious. We're treating it in a serious way. Even though this is a very unserious show.
Yeah, exactly.
Which felt a bit off, but I mean, hey, there you go.
Yeah, I think that what I got in a weird way from this show, this episode, is that the being that wanted to basically have the experience that Dandy lives with. Dandy gets this experience because he lives the Dandy way.
Yep.
He just goes with the flow.
Right.
Now, this character, maybe I kind of reading in things a bit too much, but I think he was trying to force his life to go a specific way, even though that wasn't something that was a part of who he was. Meaning like he was wanting to do music specifically and have people smile from it.
Yeah.
But he could have, in some ways, just not done that and found a smile another way. But he kept doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And there was some aspects of him saying, like, I will die the way I was born, alone. Like, there's all these things that he defined to be boxed in and limited in a specific way. And then his existence propagated that reality that he believed in until he died alone. Yeah. But except that Dandy kind of gave him a little bit of a memorial of sorts by being like, no, man, you're smiling right now. And it's a great smile. He didn't have to give him that, but that's just the Dandy way, you know?
Exactly. He was it felt like he was telling him that's what the Dandy way is right there. Right?
Sure.
The smile that I have right now is great, you know? And it has a certain look from the outside, but the reasoning behind it, you know, because there is some reasoning behind it, is more of that, well, take things as they come. And it was weird because he did have that duality to his nature where he was, on the one hand, rejecting the things that basically his environment was putting upon him, you know, of people not smiling or listening to his music, things like that because of how he looked. And then at the same time, he was like, this is who I am, and I'll die alone, like you were saying.
Right. Another thing that's also rather weird about his words is that almost everything he said wasn't backed up in any way in reality. He said he was a smile aficionado. How do you know that?
Right.
Like, what part of your reality that you were born into that defined exactly everything of who you are made you think that you were a smile aficionado? Did you just feel good seeing specific smiles from, you know, Dandy across the universe, time, or what have you? I think it's rather interesting in that in some ways he sought smiles on others so that he could put it on himself.
Sure, rather than seeking it for himself.
Right, but then when he finally gave up and let go, basically, he smiled. Because the struggle in and of itself was painful.
Right, maybe. And then he stopped and finally accepted where he was at, and then that's when he was able to actually be happy.
Yeah, and then he smiled, and it was like, hey, maybe.
As opposed to vicariously trying to live through the other people.
Sure. Like, the statues in and of themselves is just a creepy way to say, hey, this guy's an antagonist.
Right, yeah,
He's a problem. But his character is one that's so oddly kind of antithetical to the way that Dandy does his own character themes within the story, I guess. So maybe it wasn't that they were trying to bring up that he's some grand antagonist that we need to defeat. Because I had the theory earlier on, like, he's like a god being of some kind that's just, you know, upset about one thing he can't have, you know. But
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting.
I might be reaching a bit here, but the statues made me think Medusas. And Medusas in, mythology it's something where their own vanity causes them to their own, obsession with, with beauty and things like that is what turns them to this way where then anyone who looks upon them gets turned into stone, right?
Right. Okay.
And hence the whole idea that the ultimate way to kill Medusa is to have them look in a mirror, right? Because then they actually see themselves as they are, and then they get turned to stone.
Sure.
In this situation here, it was something where I'm riffing, but I don't know if there's much substance.
Right. No, go for it.
Go for it. But that basically he was constantly looking at other people and seeing something that he didn't feel he had in himself, right? The Medusa that's jealous of other people's beauty, even if they might be already beautiful themselves, right? Yeah. And then because of that, he wants to sort of capture it and have it for himself. But by doing that, he ends up losing the thing that he once had. The Medusa that was already beautiful, but in turning into a Medusa, now you've got snakes for hair, right?
Right.
And here he's a skeleton. He wanted to have that smile. He wanted to have, this happiness and whatnot. And then, wouldn't you know it, by the end, he doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Certainly not a smile. You kind of need lips to smile. So I don't know if that's something that was attempted to be communicated. A lot of this episode feels sort of like a more stereotypical like plot progression of an episode where you have an antagonist that needs to be beaten and he gets the friends and all of that stuff, and then it was sort of ported into Dandy where it takes on a very different kind of form.
I got a little bit of a vibe that the word misunderstood was a little bit of the theme here, and that we have a character that was seeking companionship and happiness, but kept doing it in a way that was misunderstood because it wasn't that.
Right.
So there's a communication barrier. And that when you have some kind of a barrier to communication connection, there's a lot of opportunity for things to be misunderstood. They have the whole joke of Dandy being the one that was constantly misunderstanding the tunes of specific songs. And then the whole, thing with the scam thing where they're like, oh, there's a Grand Prix of the misunderstood. It's like, that's good. That's good. And of course they're like, oh, this is legit. We could get tons of food. Actually, that sounds kind of sketchy.
And then Dandy misunderstanding how much they mean to him,
Yeah. And then getting to the point at the very end of the episode where he kind of goes, oh, that's the tune. Yeah. Basically saying, I understand.
Oh,
like I heard the music.
That's what that was for. Okay.
Yeah, it was him coming full circle to the beginning, getting the tune. Because I would say even for those people that you look at from the outside and they're just going with the flow and everything seems to go so easy for them, they have moments where they argue with their friends at the table about a stupid thing,
right, and
have a misunderstanding that can sever connection.
Right.
So,
if anything, it kind of felt sort of like maybe commentary on the people that we idolize, like from the other side of a screen, because we are like, oh yeah, their smile's perfect, right? We don't see the whole story.
We're misunderstanding.
We're misunderstanding, and then we try and capture that smile, but then it, it destroys it, right? Dandy will never smile again.
Right.
Yeah,
I think there is something there. There was the obsessive fanboy thing that they were doing with. Did we even get a name for the guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, ukulele man or ukulele boy or ukulele guy or something. Yeah, that's right. Which is interesting again because that's not a name. That's a function. It's a thing that
just seeing himself as for what he does rather than who he is, kind of a thing.
Because he has no identity, according to him, because of the fact that his face looks a certain way.
And yet, that's interesting because Dandy's name is Dandy.
That's true.
So it's sort of
that's true.
Like I could almost see it being kind of a chicken or the egg kind of a thing, where the guy's wanting. He's wanting to take what Dandy has, right? He's wanting to take it in for himself because he looks at it and he sees it and he's like, this is great. But for Dandy, it's something where it's just sort of this decision where he's like, nope, I'm already there. And that's how he gets it, basically. Because
just do it, baby. I've been really frustrated over the course of my life encountering those types of people. Where I'm like, how do you do that thing? I just do it, baby. And
it's like, that doesn't help.
Right. Yeah. But they're right in that they're not saying they went from A to Z and they're like, just Z it, baby. What they're saying is start, going through the letters.
Right.
Just start reading. Start doing it. Like, I didn't say stop. Because you're looking for a way where you can stop.
Right. If you're thinking about how do you do it, then that means you're probably not doing it in the moment.
Yep. So the first thing to do is usually start. And it is interesting that the guy basically was the smile aficionado, went and found a bunch of smiles, someone that is an aficionado of a thing that they're incapable of doing. This is something that I've been at fault for many times, is when you basically have something that you're very passionate about, but you're not actually that much of an aficionado in the technical sense of the thing, but you can talk accidentally acting like you are one. And that's something that's really easy to fall into if you're excited about a thing. Because the positive there is that you have a lot of energy and desire to express in a way that is congruent or affirming towards that thing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you own it, that you are it,
well,
that you have any kind of...
Right.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you could say that it's trying to bring some of whatever it was that you liked about that thing and sort of bringing it into yourself by talking about it. Trying to, do that tuning fork thing where you resonate with it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's kind of my thing too.
Right.
Even if I didn't say, like for me, even if I didn't write that story, or whatever, I really appreciate that story and I can dissect how much I appreciate that story. If I like that piece of art, I can tell you why I think that art's amazing. And then it kind of feels like I'm a bit closer to having some hand to play in that thing itself.
Oh my God! I just realized something. This is something that could be a commentary on critics in general.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Like, think about it. They were talking about music in the beginning. Oh, that's not that tune, it's this tune. And they're all arguing over something as trivial as the fact that they didn't get to just enjoy the music that was right there. The guy that was wanting to give them the music was like, hey, can I just go on?
I'm just going to move on to the next table.
I don't care about this whole thing.
Yeah. Sure.
So then we have this guy who's like, I'm a critic aficionado. I'm a critic of smiles. None of these smiles were perfect enough for me. I'm so misunderstood. Then goes around and basically holds people hostage within his critiques.
Sure.
And then waits eternally for a smile that will never come, even though he has all of time and space right next to him to be able to search for all of them.
Sure.
He then determines, I found one, which is basically him just equivalent of settling and saying, yes, that smile is perfect.
One of the other things that you could also say, based on the fact that he's getting statues, is that maybe that one smile wasn't what you were looking for, but that doesn't mean that that's the only kind of smile people can give. One of the other things with the critics is that, or anytime you really give a commentary on something, is that you have a limited perspective. And especially if it's something in a sort of critiquing sphere where your commentary will live on for theoretically forever, right? I mean, hey, how many times have we had commentary on something where it's like, and then later, we would be like, ooh, wow, did we say that?
Yeah.
And in this case, he's essentially keeping it permanently locked as this one thing that he deemed to be inadequate, right?
Sure.
Rather than letting the creatures continue their lives, and then maybe they would end up smiling in a way that he'd be like, damn, even for an aficionado like myself, that is one hell of a smile.
Yeah.
But he'll never know.
Never know. It's really depressing because there was no hope really for the kid in that regard, the ukulele guy, because he chose this essentially.
Right.
Now, there is something to be said for the kindness in that Dandy did tell him.
Sure.
That he basically found that. And in letting go and letting himself burn up and be consumed by this, he did in some ways find what he was looking for. Not a smile on someone else's face, but a smile on his own.
Sure.
So I don't know. There's a lot of quirky things about this episode, and I'm kind of surprised that we actually went this far into the discussion.
Well,
because it's a pretty jank episode on the other accounts.
Yep.
But in this kind of little sphere where we can discuss the act of discussion, really,
right?
This kind of tapped into, not necessarily intentionally, because limited perspective after all. We're reading into this a lot of what we bring to the table ourselves. So
many times when we watch a Space Dandy episode, I'm like, okay, I'm not entirely sure if this episode is genius and I'm just not smart enough to understand it, or if it's stupid and I'm just reaching at straws here, you know? Like,
hey, that's why I think the act of two people discussing things is so important.
Sure, because then
because
it's not
we
an
have
echo
a
chamber.
limited perspective.
Well, it can be an echo chamber, but yeah, right.
But you said it perfectly. The limited perspective is the solution.
Yep, every little bit helps. So
yeah. The beginning of wisdom is knowing that you don't know everything.
Or that you know nothing.
That you know nothing. Right.
And again, I will say, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I love it every time there's stuff with Dr. Gel and his assistant.
Yes, and what was
the commentary was amazing.
That was
and
so good.
The mom, that was wonderful. If we get an episode in the future of Dr. Gel's backstory with his parents or whatever, and maybe Dandy helps him with it for a cathartic resolution for his past childhood trauma or something, oh my God, I would love that so much.
Even if it's just like what would be the most random thing that Gel and Dandy could do together? He like, come on, baby, let's go hit the dance floor. And he's like, oh, I'm nervous. I'm a general of the Go-Go Empire.
You know Dr. Gel's got some sick moves.
Well,
once he gets into
deep
it.
down in there.
Yes, far under the wig and behind the gag.
But then, obviously, then his little scientist buddy would like start crying. He's like,
oh yeah,
it's been 10 years. He hasn't hit the dance floor in so long.
His buddy would go up to like throw out the DJ and start,
sure. Oh my God. But this episode was wacky. It was different. It had a melancholy aspect to it, and it got a good, decent amount of discussion out of us, despite not
surprising
like it would have as much.
Yeah, that surprised me.
There we go. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines, baby.
Battle Lines.
And it's available for purchase on Amazon. The link is in the description down below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Kel.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.